What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, and it's another episode of what to buy on eBay. I'm not saying that all of these are great deals, but we got some rare stuff at the very end that's very pricey. But before that, I want to talk about stuff that actually looks like a pretty good buy right now. And there's lots of vintage collection in this kind of what to buy video because it seems to me that the vintage collection, at least right now, is kind of at a down point. And prices are pretty low, and whether it's graded, ungraded, early TVC, later TVC, it just seems like there are deals to be found out there if you're trying to fill in holes in your collection. I've got a few comics. I've got one trading card, as you can see on the thumbnail for this. I've even got a Republic gunship that's very tempting. So let's go ahead and dig right in. But before I do, one final thing. As always, thanks to my Patreon supporters. They get my videos 24 hours early. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up. And I'm feeling a little better finally coming out of my nasty kid crud that laid me up for a while. But first one is a VC61 prototype armor Boba Fett. This one looks extremely clean. And if you go to... one other thing before I dig in any further. A subscriber requested that for everything in my what to buy videos, that in the video description, I start including links to those items. So I'm going to start doing that for now on, and because that way you guys can find them easier. Because usually stuff does sell when I make these videos. I'm not saying everything sells, but a lot of it does sell. So what I'll do is in the video description for my what to buy videos moving forward, I'll put a link to all these items. So hopefully that'll allow you guys to find stuff easier. But anyway, going back to this Boba Fett VC61, it is near mint. I mean, this guy advertised it as near mint. He said he pulled it out of the shipper case and put it right into a star case, and it has been untouched since. This looks like a 90 grade pretty easily, and it's $92 free shipping. I mean, that's a bargain. That's a bargain for one in this kind of condition. To me, this is a strong buy. I would buy that all day long. And then this seller now, I know that I don't like to usually include auctions because some of you might be watching them and you get mad at me for showing them, but I do try to show auctions on items that are fairly common anyway, because the prices sometimes can stay low and you can sneak in there at the end and get a really good deal. And this seller, Disruptor, does sell graded TVC very commonly, and the prices are always pretty reasonable. This one is an 8.5 grade Walmart exclusive Mandalorian and Grogu Mando Crease. These have been kind of hovering between $120 and $140. And this one is at auction. It ends in 4 days and 23 hours. Right now it's at $13.50. So there you go. There's another one there. It's 8.5 grade, silver label AFA on the modern scale. Same seller also has an uncirculated Death Watch Mandalorian. Always tough to get those uncirculated grades, but this one was an uncirculated 8.5. So again, pretty high grade, silver label. And it's at $1.25 right now. And it just seems like for any of these recent releases that AFA is finally getting around to grading, that they don't stay, they don't go very high unless there's some kind of weird variation or something like that, or a factory error. So be on the lookout for these if you can live with the 8.5. 8.5 uncirculated Mithril. This is another one that goes really cheap. I bet you can probably get this for not much more than the cost to grade it and shipping to and from AFA. So maybe 65 to 75 bucks, somewhere in that ballpark. So just a couple of ideas out there. Next up is the Mandalorian Number 2. This is the 1 in 25 La Rocca variant. And this seller has 14 available. One is sold. I might have already shown this on the channel or on another what to buy video. I can't remember. I'm still thinking about buying this. This is on my watch list, and I'm pretty certain I'm going to get one of these days. But it's 95 bucks plus $17 shipping. Maybe you watch it and then he makes you an offer. I mean, he does have 14 of them, so there's a potential that he just gets sick of them sitting and not selling, and he makes you an offer for 85 bucks or whatever, 75 bucks. So keep that on your watch list. But it is the harder to find 1 in 25 ratio variant. The really expensive one is the 1 in 50, obviously. For every 50 of the standard cover A, only one of that retail incentive. That one's dropping down slowly in price. The lowest I've seen it sell for is 160. But if you can pick up this one for, I'm hoping that this seller eventually makes an offer for like 85 bucks. I think I'd probably pick it up then. Because it is the 1 in 25. I don't have the 1 in 25 for issue 1 or 2. And I'd like to get the 1 in 50 also for number 2. So anyway, just wanted to keep on your watch list since he does have 14 of them. I always find that with comic books, that sellers that have that many of them, they don't sit on them forever. They give it a little while. They give it, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, and then they start dropping the price because they realize that the comic book market is not very strong right now. So probably one to add to your watch list. Next up is an AFA 85 Ree Yees. This is the no COO painted hands. That's a pretty nice looking figure. This was probably what appeared on like Trilogo cards or on straight Palatoy cards, since it's a no COO. Graded AFA 85, and it's the brand new K-style, and it's listed for 90 pounds, which is $110 plus shipping. I think that's a pretty good buy for a nice high grade Ree Yees. And it's one thing if it was like the Taiwan or the Hong Kong, which are pretty common, but the no COO, the Lily Letty, those are two very desirable variants. And it's a painted hands instead of a molded hands. So just one to keep an eye on if you are looking to get one. Next up is an uncirculated 90 Boba Fett with the rocket firing Fett offer sticker. So this is the original issue, not the reissue. And it also has an archival case, as you can see here. Empire logo, Fett offer, straight 90s for the sub scores, and it's uncirculated with the archival case. Really nice looking example. It's also on the 3-tier grading system instead of the modern grading system. So this is a pretty good buy, I think, if you can get it for a reasonable price. It's got 19 watchers on it. Right now it's at $78, that same seller. 4 days and change left on that, almost 5 days as of the making of this video, but a pretty good looking card. And it is punched, obviously. Most of those early ones are hard to find unpunched, but that's a good looking example that is already graded, very high grade with an archival case. So I'm guessing it's probably going to sell for somewhere between $150 and $175. That's my guess. But if you can get it around there or less, then I think you're doing pretty well. Same seller also has this one, an uncirculated 9.0 original issue Luke Bespin VCO4. And again, it's punched. It's very, very hard to find this one unpunched. We talked about that in a recent video. But this punched example is a 9.0 grade, uncirculated as well. And, again, it's got that rocket firing Fett offer. Right now, there's 15 watchers on it, $31. I'm guessing this one sells for about $125. That's my guess. Who knows? But it's always hard to price some of these early TVC that are punched. But now, if this was unpunched, all bets are off. I mean, it would be a very, very expensive item because it's very rare and tough to find. I think we saw one that was unpunched that sold early last year, for like $800 or something like that. So, but this is a punched example, U.S. card, and very clean and uncirculated also, which is tough to find. Next up is an uncirculated reissue of the Emperor's Royal Guard, same seller. He's got one that has sold. There's 6 still available for $75 plus $10.45 shipping. So you're talking like, let's call it $87 plus whatever sales tax you got to pay. That's not a bad deal for an uncirculated 9.0. That's pretty nice, and that's a beautiful looking figure. Again, it is the reissue, so that keeps the price down a little bit, but an uncirculated 9.0 for that would certainly be worth the money, in my opinion. Next up, we got Dr. Aphra, the number 1, the first solo series from 2017. This book keeps dropping, so I'm going to keep showing it to you because I think now's a really good time to get it. If you don't want to buy our first appearance comic, get her first solo series comic. I paid $135 for mine. This one's $90 plus $14 shipping. There's 8 watchers on this one. I think this is going to sell, and great buy, because I really think that Dr. Aphra is coming sooner rather than later to Disney Plus content. And plus, it's just a great cover. I mean, you got her 2 murder droids as well as Black Chrysanthemum on the cover. Really great looking book, and it's kind of a secondary key for Dr. Aphra fans out there. Next up is an AFA 85 beige torso Hong Kong Admiral Akbar, and this one's 95 pounds plus shipping. I think that's a pretty good buy. I mean, usually it feels like to me, most Akbars are Taiwan. I don't know why. I just feel like, there's a beige torso, and then there's like, a lighter colored torso. But usually when I see them for sale that are already graded, they're almost always Taiwans. So this is a Hong Kong. I'm not saying that it's more rare. I don't think either one of them is particularly rare, but it is high grade, and it's got the brand new K-style, and it's 95 pounds or about 117 US dollars. That seems like a pretty good buy to me. And even shipping, if you're in the US watching this and you want this figure, even the shipping is only $22. So that's really not bad and probably worth a buy. Next up is Kanan the Last Padawan, number 1. This is the first cameo appearance of the Rebels team. Kind of another secondary key. Kanan number 6 is the first full appearance in the more expensive book. But neither one of them are very expensive right now. This one's got 13 watchers on it. It's $175. I mean, that's half of what it used to sell for. That's a great price. Great price. CGC 9.8, and it's a great cover too. It's got Caleb Dune when he's younger there, along with his master, right after Order 66, when the clone troopers decide to attack all the Jedi. So pretty cool looking cover. And then there's Kanan Jarrus kind of in the background there after he's older. So again, this is a secondary key. It's labeled as the first appearance of Kanan Jarrus, which it is, but also Ezra Bridger, Chopper, Eris Syndulla, Sabine Wren, Zeb Aurelius. But again, it's the first cameo appearance of the Rebels team. The first full appearance is in Kanan the Last Padawan number 6. So this would be kind of like the second book I would get over number 6, but it's also half the price or less. So $175 for that one, 13 watchers. I think that's a good buy. Next up, this is a really interesting one. This is the Trilogo Speeder Bike Mint and Seal box, factory sealed, in great condition. Fantastic condition overall, easily an 80-plus condition, still factory sealed. And I like how it says Moto Jet Speeder Bike Vehicle. That's pretty cool. And it's got the Le Retour du Jedi, La Guerre des Étoiles. And so it's the Bi logo, or it says Trilogo. I guess it's Trilogo. Anyway, this was available over in Europe, and it's listed for 230 euros, which is 250 US dollars. The shipping is a little expensive over here to the US, 46 bucks, but that's a really nice looking example. And for 250, I mean, even if even with shipping, let's call it 300 bucks for that box in that condition. I'm really surprised that hasn't sold yet. That's a pretty good buy. Next up, I got the only trading card. This is Boba Fett. This is his rookie card, quote unquote rookie card, Starfile official business, PSA 9. This is card number 11 from the top series in 1980. And this is the very first trading card for Boba Fett. It's listed for $349. There's 7 watchers on this one. I've seen this sell recently for as high as $368. So it's not a terrible, it's not like a really screaming deal. I've seen them sell as low as $320 recently. So it's kind of priced right in the middle there. But this might be one you watch and just see if he makes you an offer. But if you can get it for $300 to $325, that's a really good buy for Boba Fett's first card. I can't afford it right now, but great looking card, and it is his rookie card. Next up is Darth Vader number 6. This is the first appearance of the Grand Inquisitor. And we all know that the Grand Inquisitor is down right now. This is listed for $110. Make an offer. The lowest I've seen this sell recently is 90 bucks. So it's really come back down after his kind of like mediocre debut in the Obi-Wan TV series. But it's a fantastic cover. I've got this one in my collection. I think I paid $135, $145 for it. But look at that cover. That's an awesome cover. I would make him an offer for 90 bucks. 90 bucks plus $17 shipping. That's a buy and a good one to hold long term in your collection if you're into the Inquisitors. All right, here's the gunship. We're going to start getting into some expensive items now, but this gunship, the TVC Gunship, it's tough to find this one mint and sealed box, and the box looks to be in pretty clean condition, probably overall 80 plus, maybe low 85 depending on who's grading it. But we all know how expensive this is. We've covered a few recent sales on the channel. I received an offer from the seller for $675. It's listed for $699.99 plus $45 shipping, but you can make an offer. You can make an offer on this. I would make an offer at $600. If you want to have this in your collection, this is a really nice example. It's very clean. Make an offer for $600. I bet he takes it. I don't know the seller at all, but I bet, I mean, to me, he'd be crazy in this market not to take it. But $600 to $650 is where they've been selling, and it's in really clean condition overall. So I'll be shocked if that one doesn't sell after this video. I got to bring this one back up. This is the Trilogo UKG 75% TIE Fighter palette. He's dropped the price again. There's 10 watchers on it. It's $759 now. Make an offer. This is a really, really good deal. I'm telling you, I've seen this particular mint on card Trilogo TIE Fighter palette sell for over $1,000 ungraded. And this one's already graded 75. The sub scores on it are also really good, 75, 80, 85. So it's not like you have some really bad sub scores. And this is a rare one. I mean, this is a really tough one to find. $759 by itself is a great deal, but you can make an offer on it. So, I mean, maybe try $700, $725 and see if he takes it. But that's I can tell you, speaking from experience, that this one is very tough to find, and it can be very, very expensive. So I'm really surprised that it hasn't sold yet. That's located over here in the U.S. Now we're getting to some really expensive items. This is a 1978 Sears Star Wars Multipack. It's got the original box, and it's got the baggies. It's got Luke, Obi-Wan, C-3PO, and R2-D2, along with the catalog. It's not graded. It's just in a sliding kind of GW acrylic case. But the baggies look great, early baggies, and it's always tough to find those those Sears Multipacks. And right now it's listed for $1,500. Make an offer, and there's 8 watchers on it. This one just got listed today. So I would expect this one to sell. I would be really surprised if this doesn't sell. He had another multi-pack that sold immediately that was about the same price. So I'm guessing this one sells pretty quick as well. This is a really interesting one. I'm just sharing some of this stuff to show you what's out there. I'm not saying buy it, but this is a first shot prototype unproduced Ewoks cartoon Chief Chirpa. So this was never actually produced, but this was kind of the first shot prototype for that. It's gray limbs with a purple torso, AFA 80, and archival case. So if you ever wanted a vintage Kenner Star Wars figures that was never actually produced for retail, here you go. It's listed for $7,900, but I've received an offer at one point, and I guess it's disappeared now, but I received an offer at one point for like $6,700 or $6,800. So if you got big money to burn, there you go. There's a really rare prototype that is pretty cool to see anyway. And let's see what else we got. Next up, we've got that same seller, I think, has got this one. This is an AFA 80 early bird mailer kit. This is the non-double telescoping Luke Skywalker baggie. So this early bird kit came with both the telescoping and the double telescoping and just the regular saber. This one has the regular saber, but it's graded AFA 80 and it's got them all displayed on there. Pretty awesome item, early bird kit. It's listed for $92.50, 15 watchers, and I'm surprised it hasn't sold, to be honest with you. I mean, it's also make an offer. I mean, I could see this selling for that list price, 6 months ago when the market was maybe a little bit stronger. I could have seen this selling immediately. So, if you got some money to burn, you won the lottery, this is a pretty awesome early bird kit for, I think, even the current list price is pretty fair in my mind. And then finally, the holy grail of Trilogo collectors, other than maybe General Madine or, a Jawa, but the next would have to be the Trilogo Boba Fett, and this is graded AFA 70. This has been on the market for a while, maybe a week or two, and there's 17 watchers on it. It's also making an offer. It is listed for $19,500 though, so that's a lot of money. I put the fair market value somewhere between $13,000 and $15,000. That's my guess. I don't know for sure. That would be my rough guess on this one though. But it's the light blue kind of PvP Boba Fett inside, and it's an AFA 70. You don't see that one pop up on eBay very much, do you? You barely see it pop up on some of the big auction sites like Hakes ever. And I've seen one or two sell over the last 3 or 4 years on Facebook, but they are very tough to find. And, again, I think it's high. It's listed high, but I would list it high too if I were him, because you got to pay eBay fees and things like that. And it's so rare that, if somebody really wants it, they're going to make a good offer on it. So I'd be surprised if it actually does sell on eBay. I'm going to go ahead and guess that it sells for 15. So chances are it probably sells higher than that, though, is my guess. But anyway, just some really cool items that are out there. I'm not saying buy all of these, and make sure you vet all the sellers. And if I remember, I'll put links to all of these different items in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.